Now, you've just signed a new contract with Dundalk until the end of the 2020 season. Talk us through your reasons for signing on again.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer for me, really. I've really enjoyed my time at the club so far, and it's flown in, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm just delighted to commit to another couple of years.
Yeah, it's becoming a lot more common in the League of Ireland now, longer contracts, Sean. We've seen Sean Gannon signed a 3-year deal at the start of this season. Jamie McGrath, along with you, signed for an extra year to the end of 2019. And that has to be a good thing for players.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely does. It gives the players security, and in the sense that they can, they know what they're doing for the next couple of years of their life. And for the likes of, Sean Gannon, say, getting that bit older where he wants to get a house and stuff like that, he needs to have some solid, he needs to know where his life is for the next couple of years. So in terms of that, it's really good, and it's good to see the league are able to give out longer term contracts as well. Kind of a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it is, Sean. We had Sam Verdon from Longford and Greg Slogger from UCD in studio just before you joined us there. We were just chatting a little bit about them, and they're both in college and playing football part-time. Would you just be able to give us a background into your education along with football at St Pat's and Maynooth, which led you now to being a full-time footballer at Dundalk, but you've also got a degree there if and when it might be needed?
Yeah, well, I was quite young leaving school, so I kind of needed to just... Education was kind of always something that I knew I needed to stick with, and I knew it was important. So yeah, I went to Maynooth. I did a 3-year degree in business and accounting, and I played with the college while playing with St Pat's at under 19 level, and obviously went into their first team then. But got my degree, thank God, and it was a great way to do it because you're playing football while getting an education, so it's just kind of a win-win,
Yeah, how much security does that give you in your own head that, if a bad injury happens, or, if you fall out of love with the game, or you're here for the next, 10 years, you then decide, right, well, I'm now going to use the degree I have to go and do something else?
Yeah, exactly. Especially in this league where you're not getting paid the wages where you can retire at 30 or 35 and be comfortable for the rest of your life, So you need something. Football's not going to last forever, so you need something to fall back on eventually, So that's something that I have, and I haven't actually used my degree yet because I've obviously been playing football, so I haven't used it. But yeah, it's something I have there, and it gives me a bit of comfort in my own mind that if I do need it, it's there for me. So.
And Sean, at that time when you were in the middle of a degree in Maynooth and playing almost full-time football with St Pat's, how did you find that balance? Just speaking to Sam and Greg there, they both said at times this season and over the seasons they've been quite stressed, particularly around exam time or when big dossiers or projects are needed. How did you find it?
Yeah, it is tough, to be fair. Especially around exam time, you're everyone else in your class and that is studying and making the most of their hours, in terms of studying and getting college hours in, whereas you have to go training for a few hours, and after training you're not really in the mood then to sit down and study for a few hours, So it is tough in that sense, but obviously the rewards at the end of it, that's why you're doing it. So the rewards at the end of it are immense. So you just need to stick with it, and it is worth it in the end.
Yeah, and for you when you were a teenager, when you were 14, 15, 16, did opportunities to go to England arise? Was there talk about you? Was there trials? And did you make a decision, consciously yourself that no, I'm going to do my leaving cert and I'm going to go to college?
Well, for me, it was a case that I was with my local team for, I think I was only 15 leaving. I was with Castle Celtic for up until then. So at that point I went to home farm, so football didn't really get too serious for me until I was 17, 18 maybe. At that point I knew I could try and make a career out of it for myself. But so when I was leaving school, I always knew it wasn't really in my head to give up education. I just knew it was the next step to go to college, and it was kind of what was expected of me from family and stuff, and they had gone to college, and it was just the thing to do. So I was more than happy to do it, and obviously when football was getting more serious, there was trials and stuff while I was in college and with St. Pat's, but obviously nothing ever materialised. But looking back on it now, I'm happy that I wasn't forced to make the decision to leave college, because it's something that I'm proud of, having a degree, and it's something obviously that I can fall back on.
And is there a plan to continue the education at some stage along with full-time football now, or is it just focus on football while you're a full-time player, and then if and when you do need to fall back on a degree or anything else like that, you can do that eventually if and when you need to?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, I think I'll, at this point, I'm kind of just enjoying football and committing myself to it. It's kind of full time with Dundalk, so I'm really enjoying being fully committed to football. And I think maybe in a couple of years down the line, when maybe I get a bit older and I'm thinking more along that side of education, I can go back and maybe further my degree or whatever like that. But yeah, for now, I'm just focused on football.
Now, Sean Hoare, you're focused on football and you're also enjoying playing right back. And I watched you guys beat Shamrock Rovers on Friday. I sat beside Sean Gannon and I said to him, Sean, you've been a regular right back for this team for a number of years now, but are you actually worried that Sean Hoare's playing so well? Recently against Bows, you were like, I don't know who you were like the best attacking right back I've ever seen.
Yeah, I just had a good game. I don't know what was wrong with me. No, yeah, me and Gano actually travel up to Dundalk together every day, and he'd just be joking with me that he's gonna have to put something in my food or something for him to get back in the team. But I know it's all just a bit of crack. Gano's obviously a great player and stuff, so I'm sure he'll be back in there soon enough. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a different perspective on the game for me. It's a different challenge, and obviously I enjoy getting forward. So I've the license to do that, and especially in that Bows game, I kind of just had so much space to attack into. So yeah, it's a different challenge than centre half. Like I can get more kind of goal opportunities and be involved in the attacks a lot more. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think your manager Stephen Kenny said he could play you up front if he needed you, which would be an interesting position for you. Sean, final two questions. League title race, as fascinating as it's been over the last couple of seasons, Cork and Dundalk just trading blow for blow at the moment. Cork's win on Monday against Derry on Bank Holiday Monday, and that game in hand puts them a point ahead of you. They're on 50, you're on 49. Unbelievable points for both of you so far. What have we got? 15 games left, I think. Yeah, 15 games left. What's your thoughts on the race to the top? Because it's so good for us to watch.
Yeah, it's interesting enough. It's kind of, to be honest, them points tallies have crept up on us a bit because of the, having so many games in such a short space of time that it's just gone so fast, the league so far. So yeah, it's been a great league. We've been playing great football, and obviously Cork have been getting results as well. So I think 15 games, we're both not going to get maximum amount of points. There's going to be a lot of bumps along the way, I suppose, for both of us. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see, especially from the outside in. It'd be a very good watch.
Sean, how important is the good football to you and to Stephen Kenny and to people at Dundalk? Because if you go and watch Dundalk play and win a match, and you go and watch Cork play and win a match, they're very different ways to win matches. Cork are a lot more direct, and they have been criticised this season for that, whereas Dundalk have been praised for playing really good passing football. And if we look at the league table, both of you are within a point of each other, so both of you have been winning the football matches, which at the end of the day is the key. But is winning the football matches, playing a good way, important to you?
Yeah, it's obviously it's more it's more enjoyable, I suppose. The way we play, we have the players to suit that style of play, so it works for us, and that's the main thing. Obviously, with the way Cork play, it works for them. So neither style is right or wrong. Obviously, ours is probably better to watch, but theirs gets results as well. So you can't knock either one, and yeah, obviously it's more enjoyable to play when you're kind of playing the football that we play. As I said, we the players to suit it. So yeah, I enjoy the style we play. Yeah.
Sean, finally you can go back to the top of the table with a win this Friday. You're at home to Limerick. You probably couldn't have handpicked opponents better at the moment with what's going on with Limerick, and I'm sure the players' focus can't be 100% on football, but what's going on at the moment. It's at 7:45 in Oriel Park. Cork don't play Sligo till the following night, so you can go back to the top with a win on Friday. Your thoughts on welcoming Limerick to Oriel Park?
Yeah, it's a bit of a cliche, but we have to treat it as any other game. They're professional players down there, and they're going to play for their pride, I suppose. They're not just going to throw the towel in because of what's going on behind the scenes. It was going on last week, and they got a great result against Bows, and I heard they could have got 4 or 5 goals in that game. So I think the pressure's off for them in a sense, which might make it a bit easier for them to come and play. But we just have to get the ball down and play our game, and hopefully we come out to win again.
Sean Hoare, thanks so much for your time, and huge congrats again on your new contract. The best luck for the rest of the season. See you, Sean.
Thanks very much, Jamie. Cheers.
Yeah, you're in episode 17 of the Off the Ball League of Ireland podcast. Jamie Moore here. Mr. Darren Cleary is now beside me in studio. Darren, how are you?
I crept in quietly.
Yes, indeed you did, sir. Now, you're going to tell us about Sean Maguire's new contract with Preston. Sean Hoare and Sean Maguire would have had some great battles over the years, and Sean has signed a new deal which was kept quite quiet over the off-season. I think he's popping back away on holidays again, but he signed, I think, a 3-year contract extension.
Yeah, 2021 vision they've shown by signing up Seanie Maguire. It's very interesting that he still had a couple of years left on his current deal, so he's obviously got a pay increase. He had an unbelievable start to the season. That was despite picking up, I think it was a hamstring injury at the time.
Yeah.
He scored 10 goals in 22 games. It was an incredible return. So this is Preston's way of basically issuing a keep your hands off Seanie Maguire to the rest of the league and other teams that are looking at him, because he's the kind of guy with that kind of form, he will attract interest. So I'd imagine Seanie Maguire has got himself a bit of a pay increase. He's got his future secured for another couple of years, and it means that perhaps they put in some fees. Maybe there's release fees, maybe they've found ways to safeguard their investment, because when he came over from Cork, I'm sure he has exceeded all expectations they had of the youngster, because he had a really, really solid breakthrough season. And for me, the most enjoyable part of Seanie's move to Preston was how absolutely brilliant he was. He just looked like he was meant to be there. He didn't look out of place at all. The best compliment you could pay the man is he just looked like he was ready for that level and higher.
Yeah, you have to say, if he has got a pay increase, which is probably quite possible, it's deserved, because he's done so well. He was their top scorer last season, having gone into the championship, and I know Preston are aiming to try and get back to the playoffs.
A lot of the season with injury.
Yeah, and they're aiming to get back to the playoffs as well. Another League of Ireland striker, or certainly current one, is Graham Burke. Reports this week that a number of clubs could be interested in trying to get him, and he's back to action for Shamrock Rovers, of course. This Saturday they're playing. They're not playing on Friday. They're playing on Saturday because the Ireland women's team are playing there on Friday. They welcome Bray to Tallaght Stadium. So Berkey back to action in the League of Ireland, and it's sure to say, Darren, everybody's eyes will be on him even more now than they were before this Ireland stuff.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, Graham Burke's the kind of guy that will obviously attract interest. He is unbelievable raw talent. You can see it there. And even last season, this year has been the season where there's been a breakthrough. I would not be so sure of a move in the off-season might be the right time for him. Maybe he could benefit from the extra year in the league. It's all hindsight now, but you could make the argument that maybe Richie Towell moved a little bit too soon, and it took him a while to get his career on track, while Seanie had that little bit of extra time to establish himself and grow as a player and bounce back from his disappointments in England and a really shambles of a season at Dundalk. And it crowned him. The couple of seasons he had at Cork, when he went there, when he finally made the move, he wasn't only ready for the move, he was ready to embrace it, and he was at a point where it just looked easy to him. I think Graham Burke has unbelievable raw talent. He showed it for the Republic of Ireland last weekend. He showed he is potentially the real deal. Would I like to see him move to England in the morning? I'm not so sure. Interesting
view, because there would be a view that if he doesn't move now and his form dips off, or he's not in the Ireland squad again, that it may not happen. And the other thing you have to say is that Shamrock Rovers allowed him to play for Ireland on Saturday. They clearly lost heavily to Dundalk on Friday night. Would he have made a difference? Yes, he would. But also, if they're being clever, they've probably added 50, 100 grand, whatever it might be, to his transfer fee, because now he's started a senior game and he scored at the Aviva Stadium, even though he did rob Darrell Lenihan's goal. And he
admitted that himself.
But
in your interview on the website.
It's one where you go, if he doesn't go now, will it happen in future?
Well, you touched on there one of his form dips. That's exactly why I wouldn't be in such a rush to get him out of Ireland. I think developing in a place where he's stable and he's looked after, and if there is a potential dip in form, he will have someone that will have his best interests at heart and look out for him. I just think, as we know, it is absolutely ruthless over at Championship, at League One level, and you either make a difference or you'll be forgotten about, because they'll find someone who will make a difference. I would feel, yes, he probably is capable of playing at that level. I would like to see him be a little bit closer to the finished product before he gets there. I do think now he is an unbelievable marketing tool for the league. We've all mentioned, you've heard the stat before, the Joe Gamble stat. What Shamrock Rovers do, what the League of Ireland need to do now, is to get his face on billboards, get him on buses, tell kids about him. This is a guy you can watch every week. We do not have that luxury. This is something that if you miss the chance to market it, because we know he's not going to be here forever, whether it's another few months or another year or so, they should really get on the bandwagon and make sure they are promoting him and putting him out front and centre and showing this is a product of the league. It's too late to do it with Johnny Maguire after he goes and plays for Ireland, after he gets on the plane to England. You need to do it now. Now is when you need to capitalise on the fact that we have a player plying their trade in the League of Ireland who is playing for Ireland and has scored for Ireland.
Now, Darren Cleary, I can't get his face on billboards, but I can get his face on the Off the Ball League of Ireland podcast, because after the Ireland game on Saturday night at the Aviva Stadium, when Graham Burke scored the goal, I caught up with him directly afterwards. Graham Burke, talk us through your international first home appearance and your goal.
It's been a brilliant night for me, Jamie, to start first. Competitive, friendly obviously, but to start the senior game for the Republic of Ireland is an unbelievable achievement for me. And to top it off for a goal, I can't really put into words what it means to me and how proud I am, but it's an unbelievable achievement and it'll stay with me forever. You
played things really cool in the press conference during the week about why you weren't playing for Rovers last night and stuff. How early did you know you were playing and starting tonight?
About an hour before kick-off. Other than that, I had no of what was going to happen tonight is in order starting, but everybody's saying that I wasn't going to play with Shamrock Rovers and thought that I was going to start tonight, but I didn't know anything with that. Obviously tonight, an hour before kick-off, I found out.
Is that a good thing in terms of nerves, that maybe you didn't know until later, or would you prefer to know, or do you care?
No, I think that'd be the better way. I think is in going into it, it makes you prepare and everything like you are playing, and to go in there, I think once you get to shout that you're playing, it's focused on, you know what I mean. Try not to get nervous, but obviously nerves is a part of it, and I just tried to go out and play the game. But it was an unbelievable night for me and a proud moment for me and my family.
How were you during national anthems? And there was a long time between when the teams came out, when the match started, you meet Michael D. Higgins, you do the huddle, you do the minutes of applause, and there's a long time before you actually get to touch the ball for the first time.
That's the moment that you dream of, isn't it? Is standing there and in the line and the national anthem going on, but it was long, you know what I mean. As a player, you want to just get it started. In order for me, with nerves and all in front of the crowd and all that going on, I just wanted the game to get going in order to get me first touch and relax myself into the game.
Now the game did get going and you managed to get your first Irish goal. Just spoke to Darren Lennon, he's not too impressed with you. Talk us through what happened and your poaching of his, that would have been his first goal as well.
That's obviously, I tried to be a goal scorer, you know what I mean. That's the instincts to get in there and just put it in the back of the net. You know, Darren's probably not happy. He has a right to be, but as a striker, I'm never going to give up that opportunity to put the ball in the back of the net.
Hungry for more caps for Ireland and clearly goals as well?
Of course, Jamie, that's the dream and the ambition, isn't it, to go on and play as many times for Ireland as you possibly can.
And Graham, just finally for me, you're clearly in the window now. Just spoke there to Declan Rice. He said he thinks there's going to be loads of English clubs sniffing around you. What's your thoughts on the future? Clearly the window in Ireland doesn't open for another month or so, but you're definitely going to be on the radar, and you probably do need to be in England if you want to be in Ireland squad properly, do you?
My main focus is Shamrock Rovers. I have no other focus then Shamrock Rovers. I'll go back to Shamrock Rovers on Monday and put my head down the way I have been doing. I'm working hard and that's my main focus, and I'm not thinking anywhere outside of that.
Yeah, great stuff there from Graham Burke. You can hear more from Graham and also Declan Rice and Darragh Lenihan, who gave us his views on Graham stealing his goal, in the podcast section of offtheball.com, and you can also find it on our Off The Ball Facebook and Twitter channels.